Last but not least, thank God for my wife, Sister Stover, my family. God bless you. Amen. 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 Matthew's the 20th chapter. Tell your neighbor, let him preach about 15 minutes. Matthew, the 20th chapter, verses 1 down to verse 16. Y'all gonna say amen in here? All right, it says, for the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. Somebody shout, his vineyard, not your vineyard. Mm-hmm. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and said unto them, why stand ye here all the day idle? They said unto him, because no man had hired us. For he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when evening was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his stewards, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that was hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these lads has wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and the heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? Tell your neighbor, watch what you agree to. Verse 14 says, take that thine is, go thy way, and I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? Last verse, so the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few are chosen. Verse 4, and he said unto them, go ye into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, I will give you. And they went their way. For these last 14 and a half minutes that I have, I want to preach from this subject. You need to understand who you're working for. Just turn to a neighbor and tell them, you need to understand who you're working for. Turn to another neighbor and say, neighbor, you need to understand who you're working for. Amen, amen, amen. As we take time out on this special day to acknowledge and to pay tribute, if you please, to those that have labored this layman program, people that should be working for God. All of us, in one way or another, ought to be working for God. How many Christians do I have in this house? Let me see you wave your hand. If you are a Christian, then you should be working for God. Now, I'm going to go on and get out of here, but I'm going to preach real quick here. I discovered that one of the problems in the church is that we don't know who we're working for. I've discovered that we get caught up too much on the premises of the building and on the stained glass windows and carpet, and my great-great-granddaddy, his name is on the deed of the land. You know how we do, black folk. Come on. I think sometimes we get too possessive over materialistic things that we have identified as our church. And in doing so, you'll understand that that's a terrible thing to do. Because when you begin to look at yours, you want somebody to pay you for yours. But I found out that when we begin to understand that it's really not the church that we're working for. The church is just a vehicle by way in which God uses our gifts and our talents. Because if you look at the gospel, John the Baptist did not have a cathedral like this, but yet he was working for God. Ezekiel saw God as a wheel in the middle of the wheel, but yet he did not have a building like this. Y'all don't hear me. Jonah did not have a pretty book board like this. He had to preach out of the belly of a fish. Somebody say amen in here. So I submit to you that too many times we get caught up on the building and we think that we're working for one another. But if I could get you real quick to believe me what I'm saying, and you understand that it's not people that you're working for. It's not even the church that you're working for, but it is God that you're working for. Y'all gonna pray with me in here. I came to the conclusion that although people might not appreciate your effort, I found out that there is a God that is the true paymaster, and he's jotting down everything that you do. Every time you serve and you feel like staying at home, every time you go when you're tired in your body, every time when you give, when you should be paying bills and other things, God is writing all that stuff down. See, folks will overlook your effort. They'll overlook what you're doing, but there is a God that sits high and he looks low. And he knows how many times you've had to give up the right for the wrong. He knows how many lies been told on you. He knows how many ditches been dug for you. Touch your neighbor and say, God is going to pay you. Stop worrying about folks that don't want to treat you right. Stop worrying about people that won't give you no credit. Stop worrying about who's not doing, and you just do what you can do. Matter of fact, my ride is already here already. Go ahead and tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, just work what you know how to work. If you know how to work the choir, work it out. If you know how to work the deacon board, work it out. If you know how to work the pulpit, work it out. If you know how to work the usher board, work it. Look at your neighbor and say, work it out. Amen. Amen. Just get somewhere. Just get somewhere. Oh, God, help me here. My ride is here. Get somewhere and just go ahead and begin to work. See, this 21st century church is not like the church that my grandmama grew up in. Grandmama church, they worked and they didn't have to have a title. Grandmama church, they worked and you didn't have to call their name. But now everybody got to be in the spotlight. Somebody say amen. Oh, God, help me here. I remember the old church, you didn't have to worry about nothing because those old women and some of the men that was good, they would make sure whatever the church needed was right there because they knew who they was working for. Well, when you understand, my brothers and sisters, that you're working for God, stay with me, Richard, we're going to ride. When you understand that you're working for God, you'll realize that you just got to keep doing what you're doing. And I found out that if you be faithful to God, he'll be faithful to you. If you do for God, he'll do for you. I ought to have some witnesses here. Is there anybody in here been faithful to God? And when your back was up against the wall, didn't God come through for you? Didn't he make a way for you? Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, you need to understand who you're working for. Let me go on here. Let me go on here. Richard, stay with me. Let me go on.